Very good evening to you. I'm Lisa Broom. This is the CBC Evening News. Waste haulers and truckers met with Environment Minister Dr. Dennis Lowe at his Warren's office this morning, and from all reports, they are moving towards a workable solution. CBC News understands that the meeting, which started at 10, ended around 2:30. One of the businessmen involved was Ernest King. He told CBC News while he could not say much, the meeting was productive.
We've had cordial discussions with the minister today, and we have agreed that we would be making no statement to the press so as not to put pressure on the process. But we have decided, we have agreed on a framework for it, and we will wait to see the outcome of that process. But things are delicately poised, and all sides are determined to follow the process through.
The truckers have been protesting the controversial tipping fee of $25 per ton of refuse, with many saying they simply cannot afford it and it will put them out of business. Their trucks have been parked in Warrens in solidarity for more than a week. Well, support of sorts from a government minister to concerns from private waste haulers and movers to the impact of the controversial tipping fee will have on their businesses. Minister of Industry, Commerce, International Business and Small Business Development Donville Innes agrees the fee will be a cost that will affect their cash flow. He told a joint DLP St. James North and South Branch meeting that he met recently with representatives of the Waste Haulers and Movers Group in his capacity as Minister of Commerce to hear their concerns. He is of the view that the tipping fee is not just about the Sanitation Service Authority, nor a matter for the Minister of the Environment alone.
It released some towards a position where they have to pay high overdraft facilities. Why is that at the same time you're maintaining your staffing level, the maintenance of the vehicle, and all the attendant costs and running a business? Because I say to people all the time, I come from a background of business, and I have to put myself in the position of these business people as well. Of course, without forgetting, I'm also a Minister of the Crown who helped to set policies and programs. So if these gentlemen are going to feel that cash flow pressure, then it means that they're going to have to address it on their end by their relationship with their customers.
Government's advisor on social policy has a plan which he says can drastically bring about change and solve some of the problems facing Barbadian youth. The Lashley plan, as he puts it, would seek to develop the best in communities. Hamilton Lashley says the plan would see the involvement of a number of key institutions.
You can imagine bringing a holistic intervention program without government having really to spend any real big sums of money which they can't afford at this time in terms of bringing back the economy on an even keel. So if you take the Vocational Training Board, you take the National Youth Service, the Barbados Defense Force program, and you determine that you're going to put bring those programs to the communities, sports, all of the technical areas of that the Vocational Training Board provides for, the youth service, and the community development, where you can use the resource centers.
Mr. Lashley says this plan can work with a minimum budget of about $10 million, which he sees as a worthwhile investment.
$10 million as an investment to bring a level of stability to the current situation in Barbados is a tremendous investment in the human capital. The development of this country cannot, as some economists and financiers might think, cannot and should not be measured only in dollars and cents. It must be measured in dollars and S-E-N-S-E. You got to invest cents. But it is not difficult.
Close to 40 residents from within the St. James North constituency have successfully completed courses in cake and pastry making, along with bartending and etiquette. The residents received their certificates and awards from the 12 courses over the weekend. Minister of Constituency Empowerment, Steve Blackett, says the courses were ideally suited for the residents as they live in one of the most recognized tourist belts on the island.
The course study also clearly indicated your awareness that the courses were ideally suited to this constituency, which is located on the Platinum or Gold Coast, which captures the tourist belt. The residents of this area would be ideal for exposure to this kind of training to equip them with the necessary skills to gain employment in the hotel, hospitality, and other service industries, and also provide opportunities for self-employment.
Graduate Jillian Perry says the courses were very useful to all involved.
We discovered that if you wanted to be in the hospitality industry, be it bartending or otherwise, etiquette would be of paramount importance. The welcoming of persons to the establishment and later your treatment of them clearly dispels the myth that service is servitude.
General Manager of the National Conservation Commission, Keith Neblett, says the NCC has removed 15,000 cubic meters of sargassum seaweed from the beaches. Mr. Neblett says the effort over the last 2 months was aided by the Ministry of Transport and the Drainage Unit. 25 beaches are said to have been affected by the seaweed. Mr. Neblett says manual labor, though welcomed, is not going to solve the problem alone. He says mechanization is an option being considered to keep the beaches clean.
I think we have identified what you call surface rates that I think that can, on the areas that are accessible, that we can go and have it clean. They've used it in Texas, they've used it in Turks and Caicos. And I've had some discussion with our board and minister and the Ministry of Finance. And I think they're looking very favorably in terms of providing that type of equipment. Because one of the things they don't want is that with the good hotel occupancy they had last year, I mean this tourism year, you don't want tourists to be saying they're not coming to Bar because they want to get caught up in it.
Meanwhile, local hotel Crane has resorted to using a boom, a gadget used to contain oil spills, to clear seaweed from its beach. Owner Paul Doyle admits it has been a struggle to clear the beach of the sargassum seaweed, noting efforts are often reversed the following day. Mr. Doyle, who was among 3 guests on CBC TV8's news and current affairs program The People's Business, has high hopes for the boom.
It's a contiguous rubber boom that will use the current that goes around Barbados and divert the seaweed past the beaches. And I'm confident it'll work, but you know, it's, as far as I know, it's not been used in the Caribbean before, but it has been used in Asia. And we've ordered it. I sent the manufacturer in China a picture of the Crane Sea and asked for it in that color. And they're obliging us.
The acting director of the Coastal Zone Management Unit, Dr. Lorna Innes, has concerns about the use of the boom. She maintains the seaweed is a living organism, home to many juvenile fish and species. She also cautioned against the practice of catching these young fish that live in the seaweed mats.
For the first time, I am seeing on sale at fish fry bays, etc., whole juvenile dolphins that you can get now, deep fried, a whole juvenile dolphin, and they have hundreds of them. And they're telling you, I say, well, where are you getting these from? They say, we go and fish behind the sargassum mats, because they know that that is a nursery habitat for juvenile fish.
11 people were injured last night after a route taxi overturned on the stretch of road between Strong Hope and Proughton St. Thomas. Police say 5 of those injured are serious. They include Sophia Fort from Eden Lodge St. Michael, who was pinned under the van and had to be freed by fire officials. She is listed in critical condition. According to police, Anthony Graham was the driver of ZR61, a Route 3 PSV, which normally plies Black Rock St. Michael and Wanstead St. James. Leading fire officer Jeffrey Holligan spoke to CBC at the scene.
There was an overturned ZR vehicle. There were 13 people on board this vehicle and the accident occurred. 8 were transported to the QEH, 1 in serious condition. The others, I cannot speak to the extent of their injuries. There was one patient. She was crushed under the vehicle. The vehicle had to be pushed off from her, and she's the most serious one, and she was transported first to the QEH.
We'll have more news in just a moment, but first we want to get your take on this question. Do you think the waste handlers and government should continue to meet to resolve their impasse? Text yes or no to short code 8111. We'll have the results at the end of the news.
life, our restaurant, our family means everything to us. A strong headache, then the pain goes away and our passion comes in.
Panadol Ultra, a combination of ingredients clinically proven to relieve the toughest pains, strong enough to relieve even the pain of migraine. Panadol Ultra, when strong pain is gone, life takes its place.
Hi, I'm Red Plastic Bag. Anyone who knows me knows I don't like cold. Sunshine reigns in my country. I love it.
Your home is probably the biggest investment you'll ever make. So don't let the elements wreak havoc on it. To protect it against peeling, cracking, flaking, fungus and algae, use Berger Weatherproof Ultra. Extreme tropical protection made to withstand the elements. Ultra tough, ultra durable, ultra beautiful. We guarantee it.
Berger paints for lasting beauty and protection.
Relive all the action, all the excitement. Get your keepsake copy of the 2015 knapsack and B-sack semifinals and finals for $100 each. Watch hours of local athletics as schools compete for gold and bragging rights. Call 467-5538 and place your order now.
Make no mistake when you're looking for the #1 source of the latest business news in Barbados, the region, and beyond. It has to be The Bottom Line, produced and presented by me, Ryan Broom, every weekday morning on CBC's 94.7 FM at 7:50 a.m. It comes to you with the kind compliments of the Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union Limited, reminding you to save smart and borrow smarter. So remember, make it your business to tune into The Bottom Line, the best source for business news on the radio.
Barbadians paying more at the pump today for both gasoline and diesel. Effective midnight, the price of gasoline moved from $3.02 per litre to $3.08 a litre. That's a hike of 6 cents. The price of diesel will increase by 1 cent and will be sold at $2.31 per litre. Kerosene, however, has been reduced by 3 cents and will retail at $1.18 a litre. Meanwhile, the price of liquefied petroleum gas or bottled gas has also gone up. The 100-pound cylinder now costs about $4 more, moving from $155.75 to $159.51. The 25-pound cylinder is retailing at $44.98, an increase of 94 cents, while the 22-pound cylinder has moved from $38.92 to $39.74. There's been a 75 cents increase on the 20-pound cylinder, which will now retail at $36.13. The Division of Energy says these adjustments in prices are due solely to changes in the cost, insurance, and freight of the refined products. The Association of Public Transport Operators is working along with the Transport Authority on a pilot project to increase its quota of bus routes. That's according to Interim Chairman of APTO, Maurice Lee, who welcomed government's interest in the initiative. He told CBC News it is a work in progress. Mr. Lee admits the issue of transportation and routes is an intricate matter. However, he has expressed confidence in the ability of the two entities to address it.
We have always been willing to cooperate with government in terms of making the service provided to Barbadians better. And the pilot project will be a step in the right direction. But the allocation of routes related to the pilot project was restricted to about 4 or 5 routes. There are close to 80 routes in Barbados, so a lot more work would have to be done in terms of research and pilot projects in order to get the correct framework, because no doubt Barbados is a very unique country in terms of the demand for public transport.
Small-scale operations struggling for survival. That's how a top official with the Barbados Agricultural Credit Trust is describing the local food processing sector. But Executive Chairman Dr. Leroy McLean believes investors could be missing out on big opportunities to invest in the industry. He spoke about the need to look at large-scale operations, taking local agricultural output from the farm to the factory in his address to a DLP branch meeting at the Bay Primary School.
The capacity to produce hundreds of thousands of kilos of food crops, meat, and dairy products. However, there's the perennial problem of gluts and shortages. This means that there are excellent opportunities for investment in the area of food processing, which will not only ensure a reliable supply, but also provide significant value added to agricultural produce.
Mr. McLean says there are some success stories in the poultry, pork, and dairy industries that need to be consolidated. And he spoke about another effort involving the use of local sweet potatoes.
A company is currently producing sweet potato chips to replace the imported foreign potato chips. And we hope that this would expand into a large-scale production of things like potato flour and animal feed. I have seen recently the drive towards the production of cassava flour.
A call for Barbados's child protection systems to be strengthened. Leading that call is government senator and senior pastor at Restoration Ministries, Reverend Dr. David Durant. It came during a children's ministry service in commemoration of the month of the child. Reverend Durant suggested too that legislation may have to be changed and policies put in place to assist in the fight against child abuse. He says children are precious gifts from God and have rights.
And they must be loved, provided for, and protected by society. I believe acts of sexual abuse on a child must be treated as a serious criminal offense, and no parent must be allowed to come forward and drop the charges because they have been paid. It is not a matter for the parent anymore. It's a matter for the law courts of our nation.
Minister of Social Care Steve Blackett, under whose portfolio children and family matters fall, says families are important to a child. He says they have a great responsibility to raise children in a manner that facilitates the transmission of positive values and ethics.
We need to ask ourselves the question, how are we doing? Are we appreciating our children? Are we recognizing their worth? The answer involves each of us learning, internalizing, and then demonstrating to our children positive values in all of our actions, whether at home, at school, at work, or play, or within the community itself. We must be consistent in the demonstration of our positive value systems.
Still to come, a look at some of the stories making headlines across the region. But first, a reminder that we want to hear from